today we're here with Kirk Adams, and he will be talking in our focus session about unlocking untapped talent, the Apex program, and the future of inclusive cybersecurity. I let you have the stage, Kirk. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Francesca, for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I really, really appreciate it. I am Dr. Kirk Adams. I am the immediate past president and CEO of the American Foundation for the Blind, which was Helen Keller's organization for 45 years. Prior to that, I had that same leadership role at the Lighthouse for the Blind, Inc. here in Seattle, where I live. I'm a doctor because I have a PhD in leadership and change. And I'm here today to talk about the Apex program. There is a webpage, www.theapexprogram.com. And leading up to that, I'm going to talk about employment of blind people in general, my own employment journey as a blind person. I'll talk a bit about the distinction between an impairment and a disability, and how do blind people work in the digital environment. And then we'll dive into the specifics of the Apex program and why and how you can get involved. So blindness is a significant disability, and people with significant disabilities, including us who are blind, only 35% of us are in the workforce. And that's about half the general population. So working age adults in the general population, 7 out of 10 are working. In our community, only 35% are working. And that leads to a lot of bad things, because a lot of us live in poverty. And there are health disparities and psychosocial impacts of poverty. So I've dedicated my professional and academic careers to creating opportunities for blind people and people with other disabilities to thrive through meaningful employment. So my own employment journey, I was born sighted, and my retinas both detached when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, and I became totally blind very suddenly. My parents I was born when they were in college, so they were in their mid-20s and had never met a blind person before I woke up in the hospital as one. And at that point in time, kids with significant disabilities were not typically educated in the local public school. And that's what the school told my parents. Kirk can't come back to school here. He needs to go to the state school for blind children. And we lived just north of Seattle then. They visited the Washington State School and didn't like it. They visited the Oregon State School and loved it, and quit their jobs and moved myself and my brother down to Oregon so I could go to the Oregon State School for the Blind, which I did for first, second, and third grade. And now I know I was given 3 really important gifts at that school. And I know this from a research-based standpoint because I did my dissertation for my PhD. It's called Journeys Through Rough Country, an ethnographic study of blind adults employed in large American corporations. So I interviewed a lot of really cool blind people working at big brand name companies that we all know. And I asked them what led to their success. Why are you able to be successfully employed when so many of us aren't? And there were nine themes that emerged, and three of those themes that led to people's success I was given at the School for the Blind. So those gifts, the first was blindness skills. There was no question I needed to learn Braille because I was totally blind. No question I needed to learn how to travel independently and safely and gracefully with a long white cane. And it'd be keyboarding now, but I was taught how to type as a 6-year-old. So when I had my skills up to the appropriate level, I could go start in on public school, which I did in 4th grade. So I had the blindness skills. The second gift was high expectations. My parents were teachers. My dad was a high school basketball coach. They expected me to do household chores and get good grades, and later on in life to participate in athletics and school activities. And at the School for the Blind, there were 120 of us blind kids, K through 8. And if blindness was your only disabling condition, you were expected to be at grade level in all subjects. So I was given that. And lots of kids with disabilities aren't, because people have misperceptions about their capabilities and what they can do, what they can become. And sometimes those low expectations become internalized. The third gift I was given was a strong internal locus of control. And that means belief deep in my bones that I can overcome obstacles, I can creatively solve problems, I can set my own course the way I want to. And that's opposed to a strong external locus of control where you really feel stuff happens to me and there's not much I can do about it. And they gave us that strong internal locus of control really intentionally. Now I know this as a 6, 7, 8-year-old, I didn't, but they had us, backpacking in the Three Sisters Wilderness area and up on Mount Hood building giant forts out of giant snowballs, and in the tide pools on the Oregon coast, exploring and finding sea anemones and starfish, and they had us climbing trees and skinning our knees and doing things kids do. So fast forward a bit, I got a full academic scholarship to a small liberal arts college in Walla Walla called Whitman College. And I was an econ major, and I was Phi Beta Kappa and cum laude, and the senior class speaker, and all good academic accomplishments. And I was accepted to a couple of graduate schools, but I really wanted to marry my college sweetheart, which I did.